to dip into the stash and sew with fabric that I brought back from my trip to Portugal. If you've not seen my little haul, I'll link it in the description. I also have a video of just the sights I saw when I was there, which you may or may not be interested in. This fabric is a poly cotton. I've already washed and dried it to make sure that any shrink will be taken out of it. It is 108 inches wide, I believe, so I have quite a bit of it, which is important because the pattern we're working on today is Simplicity 9780. This pattern takes around, if you have 45-inch wide fabric, it's close to 5 yards when you get into the larger sizes. If you have 60-inch wide fabric, it's around 3.5 yards. So it takes quite a bit of fabric. It's nice and full, and it has a big sash. It has ruffles. There's the sleeves wide. You're going to see all of that here in just a minute. So let's turn the camera down, and I will show you a close-up of the fabric and talk to you about the pattern and the sizing and any alterations we might need to make. Okay, so here's our pattern. This is the Simplicity 9780, easy to sew. And I was thinking about this version with this little sleeve, which really is, I think, just the yoke without a sleeve attached. I have not decided which I'm going to do. I kind of would like a little bit more sleeve, and I may end up just doing this sleeve. Part of it will be if I have enough fabric. So let me show you the fabric that I'm going to use. This beautiful combination came out of my stash when I went to Portugal this winter, January, February. I went at the end of January, beginning of February, and I have a little vlog if you're curious, and I also have a fabric haul of the fabrics. The only souvenirs I brought back were fabrics. So I have machine washed and dried these. These are 108 inches wide. I'm pretty sure I need to remeasure it, maybe even wider than that. Super wide fabric. So I have got one piece here that's just over a half a yard wide, but again, 108 long, I believe. And then this one I bought 2 yards, which in the end ends up being more like 4 yards because it's so wide. And they're a nice companion. I bought them not knowing what I was going to make out of them. I did machine wash and dry it, and it feels like it's a poly cotton, mostly cotton, honestly, but definitely has some poly in it. But aren't they pretty together? I think it would be beautiful in this. My decision I have to make is how I want to combine them. If I just want to do a yoke out of this, or if I want to do the dress entirely out of this and then do maybe just the ties out of the companion, or maybe the ties and the bottom ruffle out of the companion. Those are the things that I need to think about and see, what yardage is needed. So all of that will get decided in the cutting out phase after I get the pattern altered. I don't think I'm going to need to do a lot of pattern alteration, but we're going to pull it out now and do some measuring on it to see if my biggest issue is if it's wide enough across the hip right here, or if I'm going to need to bring it out a little bit. And anything I bring out here, I need to add to the ruffle. Anything I bring out down here, I will have to add to that ruffle. So let's look at our pattern pieces. You may remember that a few weeks ago, I pulled this pattern out to start it, only to find that I did not have enough fabric. I'm pretty sure that was in a video recently. So this pattern's already been cut out. I've got it cut apart. I just need to press it again. So let's look at the finished garment measurements, which are listed on the front of the pattern, which is pattern piece 5. For the bust, for a size 18, it's 62 inches. So that tells you how much wearing ease it has, because the size 18 bust measurement is a 40. So it has 22 inches of ease across that bust if you fit perfectly in the measurements. And then the hip has 62 also. So it's straight down, you can see. So the bust and hip are the same. Now I'm not the same. And if you look at the hip for a size 18, it is a 42. So it's a 2-inch difference on this. I am not. I'm about an 8-inch difference, I think, from my bust to my hip. So I'm going to just double check. This is definitely larger than my hip. I'm just going to make sure it's enough ease. I don't want it to look too tight across my hip. I want to have 4 to 5 inches of ease, and I'm going to double check. I think that's going to give me more than 10 inches of ease. So I think we are more than okay just to cut it as an 18. Everything is an 18 so far. That's how I have everything cut out on this. And if I decide to add anything, I'll probably add it only in the back, and then I will just adjust my ruffle length. I did look, if you do this one, it's an upper sleeve is what they're calling it. So if you do the View B with no sleeve, it's just this upper sleeve for the yoke. If you come back and you want to do View A, you're going to actually attach lower sleeve, which is this, to this upper sleeve, and it's gathered on. So it kind of starts to look like a raglan sleeve a little bit, the way it's put together, because there is a seam here. I haven't made my decision on the sleeve yet, but that's the pattern. I don't think I'm going to make any alterations on this at all. It does have a big sash often. Whatever the sash is, I lengthen it. I often find that they're just a little shorter than I need, so I may lengthen that sash. The other thing I might do is take leftover and do an elasticated belt using the fabric. We will see. That may be another option. I do like my elastic belts. Okay, let's get this pressed and we'll lay out our fabric. I'm going to press my fabric too, and we'll see how it goes together. Let's take a quick look at the different views and how I'm going to cherry pick the parts that I want to make the dress that would be right for me. So I held up the pattern piece, that would be B, the entire piece, so I could see the length, and it's perfect for like a knee-length pajama. This is sort of moo-moo looking to me, but it would be perfect for that. Now, when I look at View A, now she's going to be taller than I am because models always are taller than me, but you can see that comes way above the knee, like many inches above the knee, which is too short for me. And when I looked at the difference, the cut line is the same for A and B. The difference is A has a shorter ruffle, B has a longer ruffle. So I'm going to use B's ruffle. Now the thing I'm trying to decide is I really like the sleeve on A, but I'm doing this as a summery thing. I live where it's really warm in the summers. I'm afraid it would be too hot. It may not. And I'm considering taking the sleeve and cutting it short. Now, if I do, I definitely want to put the band on the bottom, but then I have like this short puff sleeve that I don't know that I'm gonna like. So I'm really struggling with which sleeve, if I should just go with this and have pretty much a bare arm, or if I would just live with a longer sleeve. It does have a pocket included. So what I'm gonna go ahead and prep the sleeve as is for long. And then as I lay it out, we'll see how it fits. I'm considering, because of my fabrics, I think I'm going to do the whole thing in this fabric, but then do the ties and the tie and the band and maybe the cuff in the accent fabric. Again, I'm not 100% decided. I could do the entire ruffle in the accent fabric, so I could do like the tie and the ruffle potentially in the accent. I just don't know if I would like the look of that. Anyway, those are all the things I'm thinking about. I'm going to go ahead and finish. I'm going to press everything, and then we'll start laying out and see. I have a feeling the fabric will determine what I do. I just remeasured. I was thinking it was 108 wide. It's 120 wide. So after doing that, I have 20 inches by 140 or 120 wide. This one I have 2 yards by 120. So I definitely can get the garment out of this. The next thing is I measured things like the ruffle, and you're going to cut the ruffle piece 3 times. Each piece, when opened up, is 15 5/8 by it's like 39 and a half. I wrote down 40. So there is enough fabric to get the ruffle out of this. However, I could not get anything else because it's 15, almost 16 inches, and I have 20. I could probably get a sleeve band piece like this, or maybe a narrower sash. The sash is really wide, so there's not too many other pieces I could cut out of this. This piece is bias, so there's no way I could get it. It's narrow, but it needs to be cut on the bias, so this wouldn't work. So if I do a ruffle out of this, the whole thing looks the same, then the ruffle's different at the bottom. I just don't know if I want that. I don't know. I'm struggling with what pieces to cut out of what fabric at this point. Here is the front and the back folded to the correct line before you add the ruffle. This would also be the perfect length for me for a top. If you want to make just a top without the ruffle on it, which I have a piece of fabric. If I have enough, this right here, I think would make a really cute top. It's quite stiff though, but I still think it would make a really cute top. So I may end up making this without the sleeve for the top. That's why it's sitting right here. This was also my backup fabric. I made curtains out of this. This is left over from the curtains. This was my backup fabric for that pattern. If I did not have enough of this, that's what happens when you shop your stash. I'm going to go ahead and pick what pieces I want out of which fabric and figure that out. I could do lower sleeve. This is the other thing. I could do the ruffle different. I could do lower sleeve out of this, but then I'm back to the same thing where it's all one fabric and just this is the accent, or it's all one fabric and just this is the accent. That's my struggle. I wish I had enough to do this out of the accent and this, but I don't. I could go with the shorter ruffle, and then I would, but then I don't think the dress would be long enough unless I lengthened this part. But then the reason it's done the way it is that the ruffle ends up in the hip line area, and it's just ease, like wearing ease. So I'm still debating. I'm going to start laying out and we'll see where things land. Have enough of the accent to cut the body, and then I could cut everything else out of this, but I don't think I want the body in the lighter color because it shadows through more. It's more white. I'm going to cut the front and the back out of the boulder print, out of the floral and the ruffle. We need 3 of this on the fold. I may cut it as one piece. I haven't decided yet, and not have all the seams in it. The thing with the seams is it makes it easier for gathering. The thing without the seams is it also makes it easier for gathering, and it's just smoother looking, and I have wide enough fabric. I don't have to have the seams. And then I'm going to cut my yoke pieces out of this. And then I think I'm going to cut lower sleeve ties out of the accent, and the sleeve band will probably be cut out of this so that there's a change in the design, so that I have just the white sleeve, I think that's what I'll do. Okay, I'm gonna get it all laid out. The front and the back are both cut on the fold, and the tie is cut on the bias, the necktie, and then the big sash is cut on the fold. I may cut the sash out of this. I'm thinking I'm going to make an elastic belt covered in one of these, potentially. We'll see. We'll see when we're all done. That's a whole separate project. So this is how I'm laying out. I have folded back just enough to get the width of the front and the back. You can see I have all of this extra fabric here, loads and loads and loads and loads of fabric. And I've got a lot cut out, or a lot laid out. So I've got my back and my front on the fold, just a little space in between to make sure the cutting is easy. And this fabric is not directional as far as front, top to bottom. It is directional from side to side. So I want to make sure I don't go cross grain with anything, but it wouldn't be that noticeable in this particular pattern, just because you can kind of see how it does go in all directions. The little flower, some of them go north, south, east, and west. So we're pretty easy going as far as that is. So anyway, I just want to make sure, as I said that, I want to make sure There are some facing, I see side to side. I don't think it's going to show. Okay, and then I need 2 yoke fronts. I need 2 of the sleeve is what they're calling it. It's like the upper sleeve. And then I need 1 back yoke on the fold. So I'm going to cut to this point. I've got to refold for getting out my ruffle. And then when I do that, I will get my little back yoke cut out at that time. I think I'm going to use this piece down here at the bottom for back ruffle, though. If I decide to do it in pieces, I'm going to come down the side. I haven't decided yet. I have 2 options as far as that goes. So anyway, I'm going to get cutting. I have everything cut out of this except the ruffle that I'm going to be cutting out of this piece. And I've decided to go ahead and cut the ruffle in the 3 pieces. So I folded it deep enough to get my pattern piece on the fold. And I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3 pieces. I will still have 2 yards of like 45 wide fabric when I'm done of this, which I'm pretty excited about. I really like it, and I have a really cute melody top that I might want to make out of this with a gingham check or with its companion, or maybe all 3. So I'm kind of excited. I have so much left over. Also would make a beautiful apron to go in my kitchen. It matches my kitchen really nicely. Anyway, I'm going to get my ruffle cut out, and then we'll move on to the accent piece. Okay, I am completely cut out. I decided not to cut the sash, the waist sash at all. I cut out 2 strips that are 3.5 by like 30 something. I'll have to go back and measure. I'm going to make an elasticated belt out of those instead. I just prefer an elasticated belt. I don't like the sashes very often unless there's an elastic waist under the sash. I never like a sash. They untie funny, they get loose, they sag, they just don't look as good on my body type. So I'm not doing the sash at all. So that's the big change. That, and I did cut the bias for the neckline out of the accent piece. So I have the sleeve and the little neck bias out of the white with the little viney leaf, and then everything else pretty much is out of, and the belt, the elasticated belt, and everything else is out of the main fabric.